we just didn't do what we had to do, and that's what it boils down to. We just, came out flat, played flat. I thought there were times that we had command of the game and let opportunities slip through our fingers. It was a funky week of practice, and we had a lot of kids sick. And I'm not making excuses, that's just reality. I was sick myself, and it was a weird week of practice, and I didn't probably do a good enough job preparing us for the game, and we just were short on time, and we didn't perform, and that's what it boils down to. And Anthony Westfield's beating himself up over that play, and I told him, you shouldn't have had to been in that situation. Never should have been there. And the way I see it is that we didn't do what we needed to do to win the game, to not be in the situation, to put him in a position, where he failed on that play, and I know he feels that way, but he should have never been there to begin with.
Well, defensively, Coach, and I don't want to harp on the negatives too much, but defensively, they ran a great option play. They had a talented quarterback, a talented back. Of course, the tailback / whatever he does, everything.
Yeah.
Keeney, tough kid to bring down, tough kid to stop. X Factor had him a couple times, couldn't bring him down.
Yeah, he's a big, strong kid, and we couldn't tackle him, and we had many opportunities to make a lot of big plays, didn't do it, and that's football. Sometimes kids play and sometimes they don't, and that's what's frustrating, I guess, is I keep asking myself sometimes why I put my career in the hands of 16-year-old kids, but they've got a lot on their minds sometimes, and between schoolwork and family and girls and everything else going on, sometimes their minds are not in the right place, and I don't think they were tonight. And but that's what happens. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. We were very down tonight.
Do you think it was kind of kind of help you out? You get ranked 10th in the state a little bit. I know, of course, you never want to lose, but maybe a little wake-up call before you head north next week.
Yeah, I told them, after the game, I said, "Welcome back to earth, gentlemen." I said, "You can kiss that ranking goodbye, and you can, you've proved everybody right. Now everyone that has said, Neosho, who have they played, who have they beaten, give them time." And, I said, "You proved everybody right." I said, "We've kind of taken a, us against the world attitude and play like you have a chip on your shoulder." And we didn't play like that tonight. And I think we became very satisfied being 3-0 and, felt very good about it. And, that's not, I preached and harped to them all week, don't put a lot of merit in a ranking, because first of all, there's 7 more weeks left in the regular season, and that merit doesn't mean a whole lot, or the ranking doesn't mean a whole lot, rather, because there's nobody knows who's played who and how good the teams are on the other side of the state and all that. And I told them, welcome back to earth, reality check time, and hopefully maybe this is exactly what we need, and to keep us from getting too high on ourselves, maybe this is what we needed to deflate us a little bit.
Well, Coach, I got to ask you about these questions. You probably knew they were coming, because I'm sure everyone wants to know.
Shoot.
The couple gutsy calls. Really that 2-point conversion is just right there. We just missed it by literally less than a yard.
Yeah.
Maybe a few inches. Anthony just couldn't keep his feet. A gutsy call early in the ball game. You guys are at your own 29-yard line, 4th down and 1. You go for it, you get it, you drive down and score the touchdown.
Yeah.
In those situations, and later in the game, 4th down and 3, you go for it, you don't get it, they go down and score. As a coach, I know you're put in those situations. Sometimes if you don't make it, you're the worst guy in the place. If you make it, you're the hero of the stadium.
Sure.
And what was the thought process in some of those plays?
Well, the main thing was we had been successful on 4th down throughout the night. I looked at the clock, and I knew the way our defense had played in the 4th quarter especially, and I felt that if we gave them a long field, we had no time. And if they drove down and scored and played, consistent with the way they'd been playing earlier in the quarter, we would have had they would have only had to get maybe to the 20-25-yard line, kick field goal, game's over, no time. And I didn't want to put the team in a position where I didn't give them an opportunity. And so I said, well, if we get it, we're moving. If we don't, it's a short field. Either our defense will hold and we'll get the ball back, or they'll score and we get the ball back with time. And the way it worked out is that we got the ball back with time. And the way I look at it in this offense, a minute's plenty of time. It helped if we'd had some timeouts left, but You know, I mean, we ran our plays and executed them very well. I was proud of the kids in that last drive. They did a great job of coming through. And I told them, I said, guys, you got to believe that we can score. And so we practice 2-minute drill every week in practice, and we rep it just like that. And so I guess that practice paid off a little bit. So the 2-point conversion, you know, once again, the way the game was going, we didn't have momentum. I mean, yeah, you said you scored in a minute, you had momentum. Well, no, we didn't. For the whole quarter, we didn't have momentum. And I would much rather play for the win right then, decide it, and be done with it than to try to take a team that had been running the ball as effectively as they had against us and doing what they had done with their offense against our defense, taking the chance of going into a shootout at the end. You know, and I feel good being in overtime even. You know, with the kicker like Logan Burr, you could pretty much bank that if you don't score, you're going to get a field goal. But field goal's not going to win the game. And especially the way their offense was moving the ball. So, and I've told the kids, I told them last week at Ozark, I said, guys, if it's tied and it goes to overtime, we're going for 2. I said, and I told them, I said, Coach Allison will go for 2. So we're going to go for 2 first, not give him the opportunity. We're going to make him go for 2. So, they've known that's where I stand with it, is that we're going to go for 2, and we're either going to win it or lose it right there.
Well, go back to that 2-point conversion. It's a play that you guys have ran, the line play.
Yeah.
I know what it's called now. The line play, which you've ran to that same side every time.
Yep.
And of course, this time you bring Westfield. He was a tight end, I believe. Was he out of the backfield?
He was out of the backfield.
Was he out of the backfield?
Behind the quarterback.
I was watching Alex Wise roll out, so I didn't see where Westfield came from, but I knew he came from either the tight end position or out of the backfield. So he comes out of the backfield, and Anthony played a sensational football game. I'm not taking away from number 30, and you draw that play up. Is that something you guys kind of came up with this week? Is it?
No, it's always been there. It's actually a play Coach Burr came up with. He a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago probably, he said, hey, we can run this line. He said, we need to have something coming back off the backside. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, I just don't have anything. And he says, well, I got you a play. And so he drew it up, and I said, I like it. Let's practice. So we started repping it. We ran it every week. And I told the coaches before the game, I told the kids before the game, I said, guys, if we get an opportunity where we're going to run line 85, which was that play. So that's what we're running. So they knew we were going to run it. And, it's worked in practice, of course, all the time, but it just didn't work in the game. And we had been setting it up. I mean, like you said, we ran the same side. It's a setup where, this was weeks out in the making. And if I was in the same situation 10 more times, I'd call the same play 10 more times. I knew it was the right call. Our coaching staff knew it was the right call. The kids knew it was the right call. We talked about it. We had repped it. And we said, this is what we do when we get to that point. And everyone saw how open it was. Yeah. It was there. It just, I feel bad for Anthony that, he just couldn't keep his feet. And, he goes from being hero, down to feeling real bad real quick. And I feel bad for him. And, it's a bad thing to have to go through, especially as a high school kid, a senior like that, on your home field, to have to, and it's not his fault, but he's the one everyone's going to look at. And I feel really bad for him, but it's not his fault.
Well, you got plenty of football left too.
Oh yeah.
You said, this is week 4. You're heading to week 5. It doesn't get easy for you. But,
no, definitely not.
It doesn't get easy for you, but you go into, like you said earlier, maybe with now you can, like you said, come back down to earth. You go to Carthage.
Yeah.
And they're good.
They are good. They're a very good football team. And you take a guy like Trey Derryberry or the Kinnaman kid, who are some of the two of the most amazing athletes I've seen around here in a while, and they're good, and they do well together. And Coach Gotti has a very good system and has those guys up and running it very well. And it's going to be an interesting week. Hopefully our kids will have new focus, new drive, new determination, and we'll go over there and hopefully be able to give them a good football game.
Well, Coach, I know it's not easy to come up here after a loss, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it, buddy. And I